Suzuki is an outgoing high school girl who is liked by everyone. However, deep down, this isn't her true self. She acts that way because she cares too much about what others think of her. Despite this, she has a small secret. She has a crush on the boy who sits next to her, Tani. He is her complete opposite, quiet, serious, and never afraid to speak his mind. That honesty is exactly what makes Suzuki admire him so much, and she is always looking for chances to talk to him, to get closer to him. But every time she does, Tani replies with short, straightforward answers, making it hard to keep the conversation going. Still, she refuses to give up. Then one day, she got exhausted from being around so many people and decided to sit down alone in the bathroom to take a break, waiting there until everyone had left the school. But to her surprise, when she finally stepped out, she ran into Tani, who also happened to be staying late because he had committee work to submit. Realizing this was the perfect opportunity since they were alone, she suggested that they go home together, which Tani agreed to. On their way home, Suzuki tried to make small talk, hoping to get to know Tani better. She told him about how she had gone to Kingburg the other day, and how the burgers there were huge, then asked if he wanted to go there with her sometime. Hearing this, however, instead of giving his usual indifferent reply, Tani seemed interested and agreed. This shocked Suzuki, leaving her blushing and unsure of what to say. As they continued walking, the atmosphere slowly grew awkward. Then, by accident, Suzuki's hand brushed against Tani's, making her blush even more. Noticing her reaction, Tani suddenly reached out and held her hand. This confused Suzuki, and her heart began racing as she wondered if she was dreaming. Then, almost immediately, Tani let go after noticing one of their classmates nearby, leaving her puzzled. That night, Suzuki couldn't sleep at all, unable to stop thinking about what had happened earlier that day. Because of this, she overslept the next morning and arrived at school late. Her friends were curious and asked what had happened, since she was rarely late. But Suzuki brushed it off without explaining, and instinctively glanced toward Tani's seat, only to realize he wasn't there. Just then, Yamada, one of her friends, approached her and casually asked if she and Tani were dating, saying that someone had seen the two of them walking home together yesterday. The question left Suzuki speechless, and she quickly denied it. Unfortunately for her, Tani happened to walk in at that exact moment and heard everything. Suzuki felt regretful about what had happened and spent the rest of the class trying to think of a way to clear up the misunderstanding with Tani. However, she was too afraid to talk to him directly since she was always surrounded by her friend. When class ended, Tani approached her and told her to forget about what had happened yesterday. Then he walked away, leaving Suzuki heartbroken. A moment later, her friends came over and invited her to go see a movie with them that day. But at this point, Suzuki had reached her limit, and she finally decided to tell them everything, that she had a crush on Tani, that it was one-sided, and that she had been the one to invite him to walk home with her the day before. Her friends were shocked, but instead of laughing, they quickly became supportive and urged her to go after Tani right away to clear up the misunderstanding. Meanwhile, Tani blamed himself for giving in to temptations and making a move on Suzuki. He admitted to himself that he was in love with her, as she was the only one who always talked to him and accepted him for who he was. While lost in these thoughts, he suddenly stopped when Suzuki called out to him. She apologized for what she had said in front of everyone earlier that day, explaining that she had been scared people would notice her feeling. She then called herself pathetic for feeling that way, and looked at Tani, saying that even so, she still wanted to spend more time with him. Hearing this, Tani blushed and confessed that earlier, when he came to class and didn't see her, he felt helpless and didn't know what to do. He called himself pathetic for that, and then asked her if she would be okay with a pathetic person like him. And with that, the two became a couple. If you've come this far, please consider liking and subscribing for more videos like this. Thanks.